With Thanksgiving right around the corner, I wanted to show you all a really fun idea for putting together your Thanksgiving buffet. A lot of us think a lot about the table setting, but then when it comes to where all the food goes, we just kind of throw it together. So I wanted to put a little bit more thought into it and get you some fun ideas. Setting a buffet table, I think, is actually more fun because you don't have to have 6 matching plates and all this flatware and all that kind of stuff. You actually can get more creative and use one-off things because you're not really needing a bunch of multiples. So first thing that I did was shop my house and look for anything that was brass or copper or in those warm metallic tones. And I kind of had some things in mind. Then I actually went to the fabric store and I found this incredible fabric. I love this plaid. I love the little white going through it. And I just washed it and it frayed perfectly. And I was like, this is amazing. I don't even need to hem this. I probably will hem it eventually, but not this time. One thing you want to keep in mind is you don't want a big old hot mess, wrinkly tablecloth, okay? So you want to grab a little hand steamer. I love this hand steamer. I was working on a shoot and the fashion stylist had this and I was like, what is this steamer? It is perfect because you can actually just do it while it's on the table. It just really does a great job. I mean, don't do that if you have some heirloom table, but this was like, I don't know, not expensive from a thrift store a million years ago, so the table's fine. Anyway, so you just want to make sure and steam that. This thing is your friend. Definitely do that ahead of time. Actually, speaking of ahead of time, I like to think of the buffet and the table setting way ahead of time, and if you can, do a little dry run. One of my favorite little tips, I think I got this from my Aunt Ellen, I'm pretty sure, was you take a little Post-it and you think about your menu and you're like, okay, well, I need a turkey. And you can just write that on your little Post-it note and put it exactly where the turkey's gonna go. This avoids that disaster. I always make everything sound so dramatic, but trust me, if it happened to me, it would be dramatic. But you've made something and now you don't have anything to put it on. A platter, a bowl, whatever, right? So this way you can make sure that you have everything. By the way, you don't need to run out to the store and buy a bunch of stuff. If you're hosting, you can ask someone to borrow a platter, ask someone to borrow something, make sure that it's in the color scheme that you want. A lot of people have white platters, have them send you a picture. I mean, I am that extra, I would totally do that, but I want it to look right, okay? I remember when I had my first apartment, I had to borrow chairs just to have a dinner party for 4. We've grown up a little bit since then, but hey, I'm all about borrowing, and I'm a really good borrower. I will bring it back in better condition than I found it, and I always want to be able to call on those favors. So keep that in mind as well. So I pulled all of this stuff together. There's a couple little DIY elements involved as well. Let's talk about the decor. I found this bottle at an estate sale, and I don't know why, but I just really liked it. It called to me. I probably paid 50 cents for this thing. And I saw that, okay, so I had that. Then I saw this big bottle at like Home Goods or TJ Maxx, and I was like, oh my God, that matches, I'm obsessed. And then I found this smoky one at like Home Goods as well. So I had this like little bottle collection, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do bottles as sort of the idea for, you know, the floral things. So I put this wheat here. I just got this wheat at like Trader Joe's and it looked kind of dinky and sad. So I put some corn kernels in there just to make it a little festive and fun and fall. Very harvesty, all right? Then, this is so funny, true story, you guys. I've been eyeing these on Mulholland Highway, or Mulholland Boulevard? Mulholland, the famous Mulholland of Los Angeles. I drive on all the time to go to yoga and go everywhere. So I've been eyeing these and I put some nippers in my car, and last night I went and grabbed them. They were just on the side of the road. They were not on someone's property. They were just there, but I'm obsessed. I think they look incredible. I knew they were gonna be amazing. I was actually on the phone with my mom and I was like, hold on one second. I just need to like, harvest these crazy things. I cannot remember what these are called. I will try to put it in the description, but I'm obsessed. I just wanted to keep that light, feathery kind of like vibe. More decor stuff. This is a DIY that I did. This is just some branches I found in the yard, and I just took some faux leaves that I got at the craft store and I hot glued them on. That's all I did. This is not that deep. Look for really wispy, pretty branches with lots of movement. The great thing is you can just take those off, you know, put the branches, dry them wherever you put branches, and then you don't have to store these things, and then next year you can do it again. It took me all of like 25 minutes to do that. So if you're looking for a little easy craft, go grab you some branches, get some faux leaves, and get after it. Of course, you need that hot glue gun. All right. For this little wheat moment over here, I actually just took, again, wheat from Trader Joe's, and I got a little cone from the craft store, and I just hot glued it on. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I was kind of intricate and extra with that, so it took a little longer, but what can I tell you? I like the wheat. It's a beautiful neutral. I love it. It's a great neutral. And then I just did this little buffalo check ribbon here, which I thought was kind of fun. And then, of course, just to like add some little pizzazz, these are just gourds and pumpkins that you can find at grocery stores. Trader Joe's has amazing prices on stuff like this, and you can still find them around to decorate with. But what's great is they just give you like little pops and little moments just to kind of pull it all together and make this table really look like something. Obviously, the food is the star of the show, but I wanted to give the food just a really pretty home to kind of be in. More decor things. I found this like weird chicken at the craft store, and I don't know why, but I loved it. And I even bought it before it went on sale because, you know, like craft store stuff is always on sale there. Of course, the one chicken that I want is not on sale, but I went with it because I really liked it. I like to add little candles, so I have these orange candles. They're not scented because I don't want them to mess with the scent of the food, but they just have a really cool color and texture, and those are on some brass candlesticks. And that's kind of got some Indian corn over there. That's pretty much the decor stuff of the table. Now let's talk about the actual serving pieces that you're going to use. So obviously, like let's say you're going to do a salad. So I've got this really fun wooden dough bowl, which is great for salad. So let's say you have like a white bowl. Obviously, like let's say we're going to have Brussels sprouts in here. The Brussels sprouts go in here, and then I just took this little wooden board and put it under it just so that it would warm it up. Think of it as a charger for your buffet table. And then I have copper cookware, so I was like, hey, why don't I just I could put cranberry sauce, or I could put gravy in here. Gravy would be great in here because you could just take it right from the stovetop to the table. And then I've got like a brass trivet. That's something to keep in mind as well. You want things on trivets, you want to protect your table. You can also get like a bolt of felt and just cut it to size for your table and put that under here just to give a little cushion to protect your table if it's something special. And then if you're doing breads or rolls or anything like that, I love this basket. So I just took this old school basket and put a beautiful vintage linen towel over it for some nice warm rolls. Obviously, that's going to be a lot of rolls. I have a very small Thanksgiving this year, so I'm like so excited about it. I don't know why I'm crossing my fingers, but I'm excited. I think it's going to be very chill. Except for we have a baby, which I'm very excited to have a baby at Thanksgiving. It's been a long time. Another thing that I love to do for buffets or really any kind of food presentation is think outside of the box. You know what this roasting pan is great for? Stuffing. Because that way the stuffing can be nice and warm and toasty and beautiful in the oven, and then I can just pop this right on a trivet on the buffet table and it's ready to go. I have 2 roasting pans, so one I'll use for the turkey, one I will use for the stuffing, because this is kind of my chicken roasting pan and the other one's larger. I've actually used the larger one for stuffing too. So if you have a couple roasting pans, stuffing is what's up in those. I also love platters like this. This is vintage ironstone. This was given to me by this amazing place called White Flower Farmhouse. I love, love, love their store in upstate New York. No, not upstate, it's like Long Island-ish. All right, so that's that. Another thing that I love to do is I like to take just your white, this is antique ironstone. You could also just have a new platter. That's totally cool too. I love to put them on a silver platter. So then you just get the edge. Now, because I'm going for this kind of rustic, older kind of feel, I'm not polishing this. So it's got a little bit of tarnish on the back. and around the edge so it's not as bright, which I really like for this look. Same thing for the copper. I'm not gonna fresh polish it because it gets that like really penny kind of a color. I want it to be a little bit more orange warm. I sound crazy. I do know I sound crazy, but I love this stuff. It makes me happy. And by no means should you feel like you have to do this unless it makes you happy. When I walk into a room and it's all set up and ready to go, and when my guests come and they see a display like this, they are going to know that they are in Thanksgiving Central, and it will set us up to have a really good time. And that's really the point of doing all of this. Don't do it if you don't love to do it. Just go be a guest at somebody else's thing. I love to host. I love to think about fabrics and textures and colors. And when it all comes together, it just makes me so incredibly happy. I know it was a crazy tangent, but I just always want us to remember, like, why are we doing this? Like, what's the point? The point for me is to bring joy to my guests and create an experience that I don't feel that I can create with paper plates and just some aluminum trays. That's just my opinion. So let's keep talking about this table, or this, I'm so used to saying tables. Let's keep talking about this buffet. Another thing that I thought of was, let's say we have cranberry sauce. Doesn't need to be in a bowl. Why not put it in a crock or something like that? Then you could just put a little spoon in there and it's ready to go. I love that idea. It's just something different. I've never really done that before, but I'm so here for it. Speaking of serving spoons and things like that, I really like to have multiples because a lot of people will buy a set. So a set might look like this. If this was totally a set, a spoon that has holes in it, and maybe a fork. So there you go. Well, when it's Thanksgiving, you're gonna need a lot more than that. So I like to have, like, this wide spoon is great for things like stuffing, because obviously we're gonna get more stuffing than a little spoon like this. The fork is great for like ham or something like that. And then obviously I'm definitely gonna have a pumpkin pie. So you want a pie server. And just more spoons, super helpful. And then you want a chef's, they call this a chef's fork, at least in restaurants. You want something like this so that you can grab turkey and things like that. When you're planning out what's gonna go on what platter, also think about what spoon you're gonna need where. So I'll be like, okay, this is for the turkey. If you've got something that's kind of drippy and you don't want, if you've got something that's a little drippy that has a little too much sauce or something, you can use a spoon that has holes in it. And then you just kind of put everything where it needs to go. And then sometimes you have like little weird, like maybe there's a garnish or you didn't want to put nuts in the stuffing, but you can add it on top. I love just to keep, again, in the same color palette, have a couple little things like this out. As we wrap this up, the vision for this buffet is that I've also set a table. That's where all the flatware is. That's where the plates are. And so people will go to the table, find their plate, bring their plate to the buffet, and work their way through it. A little tip for setting up a buffet also is to start with the more affordable things first. So like salad, bread, all that stuff. And then as people are filling up their plates, you get to more of the meat and all that kind of stuff. So that way you don't end up in a situation where you feel like you're running out. It just is a good rule of thumb. Also, if you're setting up a buffet where you're doing the flatware and all that, start with the plate and then finish with the flatware and the napkin. Why does somebody need to carry the flatware and the napkin all the way through a buffet when they can just pick it up at the end? I hope this video helped you think outside of the box when you go to set up a Thanksgiving buffet. If you have any buffet setup questions or any Thanksgiving questions, definitely go into the comments section and shoot those out there for all of us to look at, and I will go ahead and answer them as well. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're happy to have you. All right, everyone, thank you so much. Talk to you later, and happy Thanksgiving. Bye.